Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Be Yourself. This is Dr. Rajni and today we will have a very small glance over the immunity. What actually the immunity is. So we are always come up with these terms immunity, but in this lecture we will discuss what actually the immunity is defined and how we can define the immunity and how it come into existence. So the basic thing is that we know that we all are being surrounded by a various number of microorganisms which may be bacteria, viruses, fungi. Some are useful while some are harmful. So in spite of being surrounded by such a large number of bacteria, viruses, fungi, the question is here, why don't we fall ill? The answer to these questions lies in just a single term, that is the immune system. So what actually the immune system is? Immune system is actually divided into two parts. One is the recognition, another is the response. What does the recognition mean? Recognition means that our immune system has the ability to recognize between the self cells and the foreign particles. So you can see here the cells which are of self cells are as our body is also made up of cells. So the immune system has the ability to recognize the foreign particles which enter inside the body. This is known as recognition. Then what about the response? After recognition of these particles, these foreign particles, the immune system recruits certain cells which will develop the response against the viruses or bacteria, and what they will do, they will generate the effector mechanism to either to kill the bacteria or to stop the mechanism of their replication and prevent us to get ill. Now the term immunity, from where why we use the term immunity. Actually the term immunity is derived from the Latin word immunis, which means to exempt. It means to exempt the functioning of the foreign particles inside our body, or we allow our cells only to function, whereas we exempt the function of the foreign particles which invade our body. The concept of immunity is not the new one. Rather, the essence of immunity was first being read in 430 BC writer by Thucydides, who has written about the plague in Athens. The time when in 430 BC, when Athens was been suffering from plague, what he found that the candidate or the patient who has recovered from the plague has the ability to nurse the other sick person. Then, sorry, then in the 15th century, the concept of variolation was come into existence in China and Turkey against the smallpox. Looking at this, the success of this variolation, which means when the smallpox, you know that a smallpox, when a person get a smallpox, a small shedding of smallpox is there. So what they do, they inoculate the shedded particle of the smallpox to the sick person, and they found they are recovering from that condition they term as variolation, though these days we term it as a vaccination. So looking at this, in 1780, Lady Mary Wortley Morgan, who was the wife of British ambassador to Constantinople, has seen the positive effect of this violation on the native population, and she was so confident that she dared to use this technique to her son, and she succeeded. Depending on this, on the motivation from this lady and the findings of Edward Jenner in 1798, later on, what Edward Jenner was analyzed, that the milkmaid who was always have another kind smallpox like disease there, cowpox, which is generally in their cow. But what happens, they got sometimes human also got affected with the cowpox. What he found, what Edward Jenner has found, that the one who has suffered from the cowpox were resistant to the smallpox. So he find that what is there in the cowpox which is preventing the smallpox to get infected in the milkmaid. So what to analyze it, what he did, he has inoculated the fluid from the cowpox pustules to a 8 years boy, which make him resistant against the smallpox. What he did, he first inoculated the fluid from the cowpox pustule to the boy. Definitely the boy has developed the cowpox, but when he inoculated the same boy with the smallpox, then what he found, the boy does not develop the smallpox. His finding was very surprising and was used all over the Europe on that time. Later on this finding, much more experiment was conducted, and this finding has given a new vibes to the immune system, or the research to the immune system, because of which he was also known as father of immunology. On this basis, later on in 18th century itself, Louis Pasteur has able to isolate the bacteria which is responsible for the fall cholera. Though this time it is not very surprising, but on that time it was very surprising thing that he was able to inoculate the bacteria or isolated the bacteria from the fall. So what he did after isolation, he doesn't stop his work. What he did, he isolated to analyze that whether this isolated bacteria is of cholera or not. He inoculated this isolated bacteria to the chickens. What he found, definitely the chickens got ill and died. After this experiment, he went back for for a long vacation. When he again come back, though at that time what happened, the bacterial culture become old, but he used the same old bacterial culture, and inoculated it to the chickens. What he found this time, he surprised to see that though the fall or the chickens become ill, but the chickens recovered from the disease. So what he did, he repeated his experiment. He again cultured the bacteria in the lab condition, the fresh bacteria, and on that time again the serendipity happened that because of the shortage of the chickens, he used the previously used chicken who has recovered from the disease or from the cholera. So in this time, on inoculation of the fresh bacteria to the recovered fall, he found that the chickens remain unaffected. From this, what he concluded, the first thing he concluded is that the aging of the bacteria has decreases the virulence tendency of the bacteria, and this he called this weakened virulent strain as a attenuated strain, and he termed this as a vaccine. Actually, he termed this the term as a vaccine to give honor to the Edward Jenner, because the term vaccines come from the Latin word vaca, which means cow, and Edward Jenner was the first to postulate that that the one which I just have discussed, that cowpox doesn't, the one who got developed that cowpox doesn't got infection with the smallpox. So just to give honor to Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur has named this attenuated strain of the bacteria as a vaccine. Now, using this concept, Polly Leafwort in 1881 has first time vaccinated the sheep against the anthrax bacillus, and in this time Louis Pasteur has used the old culture, but Polly has used the heat attenuated anthrax bacillus. So this was the first vaccine again in the animals, but later on in 1885, Louis Pasteur was the first to administer the first vaccine against in the human against the rabies virus, and the boy who was infected with the rabies virus was later on become the custodian of the Louis Pasteur Institute. So this was all about the history of the vaccinations and how the immunological concept come into existence. But this doesn't ends up now here, because till that time only this concept was there, but the exact mechanism behind the immune system was not known. So later on in 1939, so you can think how long it took to analyze that that the activity is because of the antibody. In 1939, A. Thessalus and E. A. Cabot was the first to demonstrate that our serum is containing some particle which is providing immunity to us. So what he did, he inoculated rabbit with the ova albumin. Ova albumin actually albumin which is present in the egg white. So after immunization, what will happen? Definitely nowadays we know that we will develop antibody against the or the rabbit will produce antibody against the ova albumin. So after that, what he did, he isolated the serum from the rabbit, and from there he divided it into two aliquot, or you can say he divided the serum into two halves. In the first half, he has used the serum as a whole. In the second part, he inoculated serum with the ova albumin in outside the body. So what will happen? Definitely the serum which will be containing antibody will react with the ova albumin and will precipitate. And what he did, after when he analyzed the precipitation, he centrifuged the precipitate and discarded that. So when they electrophoresis these two things, what they found one band for the ova albumin and other band for the alpha, beta and gamma particle, which was absent in the second slot, which in which they have isolated the antibody through centrifugation. So when they analyze the result using the electrophoresis magnetic charges or applying the charges to them, what they found as the first one, the first A particle, you can say this A1, this A slot has given with the red line or red graph, absorbance of the red graph. But in the second graph, what it was analyzed, the last graph has downfall. Why it was happen? It was happen because the one which they have isolated through the centrifugation, or they have isolated it through the centrifugation, was containing that particle which was providing anti-immunity to the rabbit, and they term it as a gamma particle. So actually they have identified alpha, beta and gamma, three particles were there. Of this, they have said that gamma is the particular that particle which react with the antigens or the foreign particles inside the body, and that is particularly present in the serum. Once again I am repeating, on inoculating the rabbit with the ova albumin, what happened? The antibody got developed inside the rabbit, and when they have isolated serum from that, definitely once we got the immunity against any antigens, the serum will be containing antibody against an antigens. So in the first electrophoresis experiment, what he did, they used the serum as a whole, but in the second one, what they did, they have inoculated serum with the antigens. So what will happen? The antibody which will be present in the antigen, so this antibody which is present in the antigens will react with the ova albumin and it will be precipitated. So after looking at the precipitate, they isolated they taken out the precipitate from the serum, then definitely the serum will be devoid of the antibody which was for the ova albumin. So what happened on when they performed the absorbance of the of all the aliquot, then what they found that the migrating bands, or these bands which was migrating toward downfall, they found 4 bands in the first aliquot which was not having any antibody, any antigen, one in the second one which was inoculated with the antigen, and the precipitate was isolated, was devoid of the last band which they term it as the gamma particles. Nowadays it is termed as the antibody. So this was all about the history of antibody. Thank you for watching, and in the next class we will have a small look over the adaptive or innate and acquired immunity, which I already have uploaded. You can go to the eye icon which is there in the right top of the screen. and click on that. You will get the next lecture. Thank you for watching.